class. My name is Teacher Amy, and this is a writing class. So if you want to practice your writing, it's the end of the week almost again, and it's a good chance to practice stuff that you've learned throughout the week that maybe you want to just think and try and process a few things that have happened through this week and use some of those new words that hopefully you've learned or been reminded of. And it's a good place to do it. We're going to spend the lesson writing. The first part of the lesson will be writing anyway, and then the second part of the lesson we will be correcting and reading each other's work. So it should be fun. We've got a very relaxed topic for today, which is writing about an imaginary creature. And this is completely up to you. So you might want to think about your ideal pet. I think I desperately did want a unicorn when I was younger for some reason. But it might be something else that's not in existence in the world of imagination except in your own. So choose anything you like, describe it. I want to know all about it. What does it look like? What does it eat? Where does it live? What are its special qualities? Anything you can think of. So it's kind of a bit of fun with a kind of a childish aspect to it, but just for the purpose of going crazy with your imagination and practicing your English. So let's say hello to Julian. How are you, Julian?
Hi, Amy. How are you? I'm fine.
Well, thank you.
And you?
I'm good. Have you had a good day?
Yes. I have a good day. I had a good day. Sorry.
I have had a good day, Julian.
Okay, I have had a good day.
Great.
Now it's raining here.
Yeah, it's raining here too, to be honest. So I'm not worried about being stuck inside this morning because outside's pretty yuck. I'm guessing that it rains quite hard when it rains in your area of the world. Is it a downpour?
Sorry, what is downpour?
Do you know what a downpour is? Like a downpour is like really heavy rain.
Okay. No, really. It's a light rainy drizzle. Yeah, drizzle.
It's drizzle here as well. Look, Julian, we have a lot in common today.
Yes.
Oh, well, you can spend your next hour listening to the rain and being inspired for your writing. How about
maybe it could be inspiring for me. and get a good creator for you.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with in that case.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And Anna, welcome back.
Thank you, Amy.
Is it raining in your part of the world, Anna?
No, teacher. It was sunny.
Ah, sunny. Sorry, Anna, you're not going to have as much inspiration at your fingertips as Julian by the sounds of things.
Why?
Maybe you're inspired by the sun. Are you inspired by the sun?
Maybe. Yes.
I'm only kidding. I'm sure that you'll be inspired whatever, Annie. You always usually come up with something very interesting for me. So guys, I don't know whether we're going to be having any other students, but if it is just us, then I'll give you plenty of time. Go for gold. Write as much as you like. I'll give you about 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and read and correct. So I'm going to give you... I've shared the link. Hopefully you guys can see that already. Oh, and there's something wrong with my screen share. It's making me freeze. I think you can still hear me, so just get started. I am going to try and share my screen when it lets me. And I'll see you guys soon. You know what to do. If you have any questions, just let me know. Hello, Jean. Welcome.
Hello.
We've only just started, and our theme for today is an imaginary creature. So I've given you some little hints, but basically just use your imagination and write about some kind of imaginary creature. Tell us all about it. Use your best adjectives and descriptive language, and we're going to come back in about 20 minutes to read and correct, okay?
Okay.
All right, see you soon. Hello, Missy. Welcome. Are you there?
Hello,
Can
yes, I am here. Hello.
Wonderful. You're very welcome to join us. We've got time because there's not many of us in this class today. So if you would like to write, we're just writing about an imaginary creature. It's all about your imagination. Just click on the link if you want to access the document. Otherwise, you can write in just somewhere else and copy and paste into the chat box at the end if you prefer, and then I'll put it in the document for you. Can you hear me okay, Missy?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Do you understand what to do?
Yes, we have to write about an imaginary creature.
Yep, absolutely. So I will come to you last, so you've got a bit more time. And Anna and Julian have been going for about 10 minutes, so they get a little bit more, and then we'll start reading and correcting.
Okay.
All right, see you
So
soon.
how much time we have to write?
Probably for you about 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Mama, Mama.
Okay, a few more minutes for Anna and Julian, so think about checking. Okay, Anna, if you're ready,
Yeah,
let's
I
go
am.
for it. Okay, I'm just
Okay.
going to zoom in a tiny bit.
Okay.
Yep.
The overprotective turns out into almost everything is a creature that appears once in a blue moon in particular and specific circumstances when someone needs it. Unfortunately, it does not stay for a long time with the person. For me, it was born in one day when I was sad because of the news about Paris. I was tired because I had worked all day long and I was writing one of my poems. It was a poem about tolerance and peace. A sincere drop of tear dripped on the paper and blurred the pen's ink, making a figure that resembled a teddy bear. Then the teddy bear became three-dimensional and grew. The bear was fluffy, huge and brown. His expression was so cute that I did not get scared, and by impulse I gave it a hug. He started talking with me, and he told me every once in a while he would appear to someone from a sincere drop of tear. He cheered me up by telling me jokes, and it was on Thursday. He told me he was going to leave on Monday, but as he was an overprotective turns out into almost everything, he would turn into someone who would look exactly like me. And this way I would not have to work on Friday. He was going to replace me for a day and I would have a day off. How great. I stayed home missing him. Then, when he came back, he asked me into what I would like he turns. I answered, I want a hippogriff, like in Harry Potter. And then I had my hippogriff just for me. It's a magical creature that has its front legs, head, and wings like an eagle, and the rest of the body is like a horse. I rode in my hippogriff a lot We had flown over the entire world really fast, but instead of becoming happy, I've seen poor people, wars, and hungry around. I was about to cry. Then the overprotective turns out into almost everything, brought me back home and told me that sadness, injustice, and those things will always be in the world, but it's up to us to make our part to change the world, and if every single person did just a little good thing, the world would be a better place to live in. Then he asked me, "What have you been doing to improve the world?" And I answered, "Well, I don't know. I'm a nice person, I try to be." He turned out into a cat with that kind of eyes like the cat in Shrek. And then I answered, "Okay, I'm not a good person. I take long showers. I do not recycle. I eat junk food and so on. Sometimes I have bad days and I say things I regret afterwards." Then my creature turned into a seed. I planted it in my garden, and I've been thinking about the things he told me and watering my tree every day in the morning.
Anna, that's an awesome story. What a cool idea. I like your imaginary creature, the overprotective, turns out into almost anything. Okay, so just let's go over this again. I love the idea. It's a really cool story. So the name of your character is, I love it, but it's slightly confusing. I think what you mean is maybe turns into almost everything. We don't need to have the word out
Okay.
because you're referring to the fact that he can change, right, into different forms.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and why did you call him the overprotective?
Because this creature is overprotective. He protects people
Okay,
that, and he borns from a sincere drop of tear. And then he
yes.
comes to protect people and and the world and so forth.
Okay, so overprotective, that word in English is like a negative, it has a negative connotation because it means that you're trying to protect somebody too much and you're stopping them from doing their life. It's something sometimes we talk about parents that are overprotective. So
Okay,
maybe
so
you want to change that to something more positive sounding.
okay, protective.
Okay, that sounds better.
But he overprotected me when he went
For your
to
school?
work on my behalf.
Okay, so you can leave it as overprotective if you like. It's
Oh,
your
no,
story.
no, protective.
Protective? Okay. Okay, so the protective turns into almost everything. Is a creature that appears once in a blue moon in particular and specific circumstances when someone needs it. Unfortunately, it does not stay for a long time with the person. Perfect. For me, it was born, we don't need to say in, it was born one day when I was sad because of the news about Paris. Full stop. I was tired because I had worked all day long and I was writing one of my poems. It was a poem about tolerance and peace. A sincere teardrop. We don't say drop of tear, we can just say teardrop. Dripped on the paper and blurred the pen's ink, making a figure that resembled a teddy bear. Then the teddy bear became three-dimensional. It's very cool. And grew. The bear was fluffy, huge, and brown. His expression was so cute that I did not get scared and on impulse. To do something on impulse, I gave it a hug. He started talking with me and he told me every once in a while, he would appear to someone from a sincere teardrop. He cheered me up by telling me jokes, and it was on Thursday. He told me he was going to leave on Monday, but as he was an overprotective, or would change it to protective, turns into almost everything, he would turn into someone who would look exactly like me, and this way I would not have to work on Friday. He was going to replace me for a day, and I would have a day off. How great! I think we need an exclamation mark there, Anna. I stayed home missing him, comma. Then, when he came back, he asked me into what I would like he turns. He asked me what I would like him to turn into. I would like him to turn into. That is a bit of a tricky construction. You could say into what I would like him to turn, but it sounds really formal, and it doesn't really suit the kind of the tone of this. So ask me what I would like to turn into, him to turn into. I answered, I want a hippogriff like in Harry Potter. So if you're going to have direct speech, you need to put quotation marks. And then I had my hippogriff just for me. It is a magical creature that has its front legs, head and wings like an eagle, and the rest of the body is like a horse. I rode in my hippogriff a lot, because you can't get in a hippogriff. You get it on it, like on a horse. We had flown over the entire world really fast, but instead of becoming happier, I saw poor people, wars, and hunger. And then around doesn't really work here. I would say everywhere, maybe, or simply nothing. Just I saw poor people, wars, and hunger. But around, for some reason, it just doesn't work there. It's too casual for this kind of serious thing. Because you can say like, oh, see you around, but it's very casual. It's not very specific. I was about to cry. Then the protective turns into almost everything, brought me back home, and told me that sadness, injustice, and those things will always be in the world, but it is up to us to make our part, to do our part, Anna. Change the world. And, long sentence, but that's okay, and if every single person did just a little good thing, the world would be a better place to live in. Perfect. Then he asked me, what have you been doing to improve the world? And I answered, because we've got a full stop there, we don't want to start with and, so I answered, well, I don't know, I am a nice person, I try to be. Maybe it would be good to say at least I try to be here. Otherwise it sounds a bit funny to say I am a nice person, but then I try to be. He turned out into a cat. He turned into a cat with those kind... okay, so with the kind of eyes like the cat in Shrek. I'd say he turned into a cat with eyes like those of the cat in Shrek. Or just leave those of out. You don't have to put that. And then I answered, okay.
I couldn't find the words to describe the face that the cat does.
Yeah,
You know?
I know what you mean. When they get really, really big and he looks kind of cute and demure.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know what you mean, Anna. It's difficult to describe with a word. I suppose cute, but it doesn't really explain it very well. Let me have a think about it. Might be able to come up with a better one. Okay, I'm not a good person. I take long showers. I do not recycle. I eat junk food. Sometimes I have bad days and I say things I regret afterwards. Then my creature turned into a seed. This is a great ending. I love this ending. I planted it in my garden and I have been thinking about the things he told me and watering my tree every day in the morning. Awesome. Or you could just say every morning. Might be just a little bit less wordy. That is an awesome story. Thank you, Anna. Do you understand all of the corrections?
Yes, teacher, thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, Julian.
Yes.
Could you
Okay.
read, please?
Okay. Okay. Amarkinis is the most exciting creature that I have ever seen. Oh my God. Her beauty, his beauty is amazing. I couldn't find a human word to describe it. He is not he, is she. Is a female being of the Farigus class of the modern planet. She is a very kind and glamorous female. She has 4 long legs with knees and feet, good tooth. Do you know how much she spends in her shows? She has 2 arms. The arms are so tiny. She does not have elbows, but in the end of them are her six-finger hands. The fingers are long and well defined. Thus allows her get more sensibility and allows her catches different objects at the same time. She has a mystery. She has a mystery in her hands. It will challenge to you get. It will challenge you to guess what it is. You know, hands have a small spot between each on finger. Throughout this cavity, when she opens her fingers, go out to a odor. But his odor is smells a Coco Chanel perfume.
Awesome, Julian. That's so different to Anna's story, but also very cool. Where did you come up with this idea? Just did it pop out of your imagination?
Yes.
I love the name. Where did you get the name from?
No, I started
You just made it
to
up.
write letters, and that is the final word.
It's very cool. It sounds kind of elegant or something. It suits your creature. Nice name. So I'm going to attempt it as Amarkinis, maybe?
Maybe.
How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?
Amarkinis.
Okay, Amarkinis is the
Yes.
most exciting creature. Okay, so because we've got the superlative, right? We need the. We can't say because that defeats the object of saying most. Is there only one? So the most exciting creature that I have ever seen. His beauty, we don't need to put a capital. His beauty is amazing. And I can't find a human word to describe it. Because if you say couldn't, it's in the past, and you're talking about the present, okay?
Okay.
He is not a he. She is a she. This is rather confusing. But there we go. He is not a he, she is a she. Maybe
Okay.
I would put here in actual fact, just to sort of like emphasize the fact that we're changing, we're emphasizing the whether he's a he or a she. So in actual fact, he is not a he, she is a she. She is
everything.
no
doubt.
She is a female being of the Faragunis class at the moon. We don't usually say at a planet, on a planet. On the Moulane planet.
Okay.
Great. New paragraph. She is a very kind and glamorous female. Good. She has 4 long legs with knees and feet, but toes are left. What do you mean when you say toes are left?
She doesn't have those.
She doesn't have any toes.
Yes.
Toes are missing is what you mean. Toes are missing. But she doesn't have any toes. Otherwise, it sounds like if you say something is left, it means it's remaining. So you might say, there are 3 sausages left, which means there are 3 sausages on the plate still for somebody.
Okay.
So if you're saying there's none of it, then missing or run out or something like that. In this case, missing because it's a body part.
Okay.
So do you know how much she spends on her shoes? To spend some money on something or time on something? She has 2 arms. And then, because you're going to say something else about them, you need a new sentence. These arms are so tiny, and she does not have elbows, but at the end of them are her 6-fingered. She sounds so crazy, Julian. 6-fingered hands. Full stop. The fingers are long and well defined, and the fingers, allow her to get more sensibility. Sensibility is not a very commonly used word. I think you're thinking of the Spanish, but basically the translation for that is sensitivity in English. Okay?
Okay.
So in English we do have the word sensible, but it doesn't mean sensitive. It doesn't mean sensible. It means that you do the right thing. You're not stupid. And sensible is sensitive. It's a bit confusing because they're really similar words. So in this case, sensitivity. And allows her to catch different objects at the same time. So she must be good at sports then, Julian. She has a mystery in her hands. Nice sentence. I will challenge you to guess what it is. If you do this, you could probably say here, can you guess, rather than you know. You could say, do you know, but because you're asking us to guess, it's better to use the verb guess.
Okay.
Her hands have small spots, because we've got plural, we don't need a. Her hands have small spots between each finger, we don't need one. And through this cavity, throughout means like all over, but I think what you mean is through as in it travels through the cavity.
Yes.
Okay, so through this cavity, when she opens her fingers, comes an odor, or goes an odor, but we don't need to say goes out. I'd say comes. But this odor smells like the Coco Chanel, better put capitals, perfume. Odor is usually a word that we use for a bad smell.
And for good smell.
Scent. A scent is a good smell.
Scent, okay.
Yeah. And smell is just neutral. So if you're talking about flowers or butterflies or perfume, you'd say scent, not odor. If you're talking about smelly socks or, I don't know, then it's an odor, okay?
Okay.
Wonderful. I loved it, Julian. I've got this picture in my mind of this kind of weird looking, like, I don't know, kind of insecty type creature, human insect kind of thing. I don't know. It's very weird, but awesome.
Okay.
Well done. Do you understand everything that we've corrected?
Yes, I understand all of corrections.
All right. In that case, we'll go to Missy.
Yes, hello.
Do you have your writing somewhere, Missy?
Yes, I sent you in your personal message because I'm
Oh,
not
wonderful.
able to access
Yep,
chat.
okay. Just let me grab it. And I'll put it on the screen. Okay. Could you read for us, please?
So here was the most exciting creature anyone would have ever seen. He's my friend Aidu. Aidu has this unique characteristic of getting itself adjusted in human eye, and there was his abode. He makes a very peculiar voice when he has to come out of the eye and communicate with the people. He's a wonderful friend. He hears your troubles and problems and can automatically transfer those problems into his heart. This transforms your sorry, I have made a mistake here. He transforms your gloomy days into really exciting ones. He can seep into your heart and can create happiness. Then once your troubles are turned down, he will again fit into your eye and is invisible for everyone else. His presence is so strong that you never feel alone. This is a continuous source of happiness and companionship. The only thing he is vulnerable to is dishonesty. Although he is a great friend, but it's not a monkey business to retain him as your friend. If he would even if he would even sense 1% of dishonesty and untruthfulness, then he would leave you and will find a new companion who is in dire need of a companion like him. Honesty and trust is what he is fed on. I have been lucky all through this time since he became my friend. He has taught me many basic lessons about my life. With him, I experienced how important it is to have an honest companion in life.
Great, thank you, Missy. And once again, a completely different one. So we've had 3 really different stories. And I love the way you've described all of his character and how he works and all that kind of stuff. That's very cool. So let's go through it. Well done for some good paragraphing. Let's just leave a space. It helps me to see better. So here was the most exciting creature anyone would have ever seen. I think because you're talking about a creature and you're describing him, it's better to use the present tense that you've gone into here. And it's a little bit confusing otherwise for this sentence. So here is the most exciting creature anyone has ever seen. And then you're in the present tense for the next part, which is he's my friend Ido. Cool name. Ido has this unique characteristic of getting itself. Because you've said he, it sounds a bit funny to say itself. I think it might be better to say himself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could say it's my friend Ido, but it doesn't sound very personal for a friend in that case. So adjusted in the human eye, and there was his board. I think I know what you mean. You mean that he sort of travels in your eye or sits in your eye while you do your life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting himself adjusted in the human eye, and what could we say? Maybe makes it his home or something like that, or just simply stays there or settles there, something like that. Maybe settles there is the best one. We can't say aboard. You could say get aboard your eye, but it sounds funny because we only usually use that for like ships or planes, so it's hard to make the connection with an eye. Maybe this one.
Or we can say abode, A-B-O-D-E.
Abode. Okay. Yeah, you could say makes this his abode. Sure. He makes a very peculiar voice when he has to come out of your eye and communicate with people. He's a wonderful friend. He hears your troubles and problems and can automatically transfer those problems into his heart. He transforms your gloomy days into really exciting ones. He can seep into your heart and can create happiness. We don't need can again. Then, once your troubles are turned down, I think I know what you mean by this, Missy. Is it like less important, like the volume being turned down, sort of?
Yeah.
Okay, or so maybe turned down is a little bit confusing because it can also be like to turn somebody down is to not accept an invitation to something. So maybe once your troubles are eased or diminished or something like that, a little bit more, a bit clearer. He will once again fit into your eye and is invisible to everyone else. His presence is so strong that you never feel alone. This is a continuous source of happiness and companionship. What a crazy idea. It's very cool. The only thing he is vulnerable to is dishonesty. You don't need a comma there. Although he's a great friend, but it's not a monkey business to retain him as your friend. What do you mean by this sentence?
I mean that, you can't play tricks with him. He is quite sensible about it.
Okay.
You just can't be dishonest, and you can't just keep him with dishonesty.
Right, so
and
you
by
can't...
playing tricks with him.
Yeah, sure. So the only thing he's vulnerable to is dishonesty. I think although is confusing. So let's go straight to he's a great friend, but monkey business is a nice little phrase, but it's too vague in this sense, I think, to make it clear. So he's a great friend, but if you want to keep him, is a more of a natural way to say it, as your friend, you mustn't lie to him, or maybe you must be honest with him. If he would, I think what you mean here is if he detects even 1% dishonesty, we don't need of, 1% dishonesty or untruthfulness or an untruthfulness, then he will leave you. Otherwise it would be if he detected, he would leave you. But I think really you're giving me more of a rule. So let's do present simple and will. And we'll find a new companion who is in dire need of a companion like him. Honesty and trust is what he's fed on. Yeah, okay. I've been lucky all through this time since he became my friend. He has taught me many basic lessons about my life. Perfect. With him, I have experience because he's still with you, so it's still relevant. How important it is to have an honest companion in life. Awesome, Missy, thank you. That was really unusual idea and very well explained. Any questions about the corrections?
No.
Right.
I just want to ask one thing which is not here in this. If we tell to, for example, I'm a teacher, and if I tell to my class that enough of talking, so is it correct or enough talking?
Enough talking. Enough talking. It depends exactly what you're saying. You can say enough of that if you want to say something vague. Or if you just want to refer to something but not actually say what it is, you can say that's enough of that, or just enough of that. But if you're talking about a verb, enough talking, or enough laughing, or enough being silly, just say enough and then the verb.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm wondering if it seems like you have already discussed this between you. It might be fun to put this on Facebook. Do you guys mind if I share this? Would you prefer to keep it to yourself?
I like when you share. I feel honored.
Well, that's great, Anna. I'll share yours. Julian, how do you feel?
May I ask you something?
I agree with you there. And you can share this, right?
Okay, thank you, Julian. Anna, what was your question?
Can you hear me? Oh,
yes,
no.
I can.
Okay. Because it's frozen, I don't know.
I know.
When a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, is there a verb?
For that particular animal,
You know the
specific to a transformation.
Yes, when a small froggy that's similar to a fish turns into a froggy.
Chrysler, jump.
Yes. common one. I can't